moving forward, what needs to happen here is we need to figure out who our counterparty is going to be in Afghanistan. And then we need to have humanitarian issues addressed. We need to have geopolitical stability issues addressed. And we have to have corruption and rule of law issues addressed. And those are three things that have been vexing the country for decades, including the last 20 years that we were there. Now, any one of those things would be table stakes for entree into the global political community, into the receipt of meaningful foreign aid, to diplomatic actions, and to having any kind of non-pariah relationship with the rest of the world.
Of course, negotiating with and counting on the word of the Taliban has been a matter fraught with peril over the decades. This is the organization that we went in to defeat, and now we've just handed it all back to them. You feel like we're one major incident away from chaos over there. It's how to avoid that one major incident. And ISIS-K doesn't want that to be avoided. It wants something to happen and right away.
That's right. And look, the removal of our presence there will mean that there's less of a target, that there's less of an allied target, that there are less soft targets. But the Taliban at this point have to be interested in defeating ISIS and giving at least some leeway to the international counterterrorism mission. They don't want us here. They want the agency to run their own country. I hope to goodness that they do so in a way that comports with international humanitarian ideals, that doesn't throw away the 20 years of hard work, the 7 to 20 years of increases in life expectancy, which, by the way, is almost all women and children, the infrastructure that's been built over the last 20 years. But they will find that they do not have willing counterparties inside the international community, that they will be pariahs if they don't address it.
They want their money, the billions of dollars in Afghan money that's been frozen and really is, I don't know, if you can think of another thing that we have to hold over them, I'd like to hear about it.
Yeah, so we're in a little bit of a different position than we were 20 years ago. Our ability to gather intelligence, our ability to conduct sensitive activities, to conduct special actions in country, to be able to conduct surveillance, to be able to just generally get a sense, especially as the countries become more connected, of whether there's actually meaningful compliance, whether they're doing what they have committed to being able to do. And that's a pretty big hammer right now. I'd say, access to international bank counterparties. I mean, if you look at like the Kabul bank crisis, which happened while we were there, that was a $1 billion fraud with the country's largest bank that actually Kroll had to come in and help sort out, right? I mean, the country had difficulties before between FATF gray listing, and in order to have any access to currency reserves, to real trading partners, or to the ability to be taken in any way seriously in an international forum, they're just going to have to show rather than tell.
Regarding the airport, we've heard about Turkey and Qatar maybe helping to work it, helping to run the place, but its importance really can't be overstated. Without it, at least in the Kabul area, there's an airport in Mazar-e Sharif, but that's a long way away. Getting people in and out is going to be necessary, and that Kabul airport is essential.
That's right. So I remember when I was in country, when I was in Afghanistan, my team and I went out every single day, off compound all over the country. The single most dangerous thing any of us ever did, and this is when we had a strong troop presence, when there was a strong multinational presence, was go to and from the airport. There are architectural issues associated with it. If you're going there, it's clear that you're a target, especially if you're a diplomat or in the armed service. Creating freedom of access there is going to take a lot more than just architectural security measures. It's like the old saying: you rob banks because that's where the money is. You hit the airport because that's where whoever you want to hit is coming or going from.
It's no accident the timing of the United States exit. I mean, it's certainly no accident that we didn't wait until tomorrow. It's no accident that we flew out in the middle of the night. You want to do this as safely as possible, because with the knowledge, but we know of this because the government has told us all the way up to the highest levels that they knew that ISIS-K would very much have loved to have shot a jet out of the sky if they had the capabilities. Not that they did, but who the hell knows? We did it all on the cover of darkness, and now they wake up there in a couple of hours when the sun rises in Afghanistan, and the Taliban have the whole kit and caboodle.
Well, I'll tell you, every single person I know who I served with, whether they were in the Justice Department, the State Department, or DOD, they have been working around the clock, literally 24/7. And that includes people who are back in government now for the last 2 weeks to try to get to safety, not just Americans who are overseas, but the Afghans who chose to trust us and to work with us and whose lives could be in peril. And when I say around the clock, I mean literally around the clock. The only pause I can think of is when we all stopped to watch the ceremonies at Dover yesterday. So going to continue.
Jordan Strauss from Kroll. Jordan, thanks very much. Appreciate it. I want Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.